Welcome to the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast with host Jacqueline Burke. On today's episode, we are discussing menopause with our special guest, Laurie Ouellette.
Welcome to the podcast, Laurie. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're here with me today to talk about menopause. The dreaded word,
Yeah.
eh?
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'd like to know what your experience has been with this journey.
Well, it's kind of funny because menopause, I think I hit perimenopause really early
Mhm.
because I had a hysterectomy when I was like 35.
Oh, wow.
And so it kind of hit me pretty early. But the funny thing is that I suffer from an autoimmune disease as well called
Oh,
Hashimoto's.
right.
So, and it's hypothyroidism Hashimoto's. And so you can sometimes really confuse symptoms.
Oh,
So, brain fog, right, is a
right.
constant everyday symptom for me, just with Hashimoto's. And
Oh,
you just never know if it's okay, is it menopause or is it Hashimoto's or is it my thyroid? Is it, you know? So it's kind of a flip of the coin as to whether or not it's actually that um the it it kind of started to hit me and I kind of realized it when the mood swings, like my daughter and my husband said that my husband at the time, we're no longer married, but he was like, I don't even know who you are right now. Like, what are you saying to me?
yeah.
And I just looked at him and then I realized, oh my God, I think I'm going through menopause or something right now because I was going from like, you go from totally mellow, everything's fine to just hot in
Yeah.
like 2 seconds. You're like, just right?
Yeah.
Everything is wrong. What are you doing that for?
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, and that probably hit me when I was about 45
Oh,
when that
wow.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'm through to the other side, but then something will happen and I'll be like, oh man, come on. Like
Yeah.
really? It
Yeah.
seems to
Oh,
drag on forever.
I hear you. What have some of your symptoms been?
Well, the mood swings are a big one and the sweats, like the
Oh,
hot flashes. Holy Hannah, like I would be sitting at my desk on the phone. Like this happened probably 5 years, 4 years ago. I'd be sitting at my desk and I thought it was just my office, but no, it would start at the base of my back and go all the way up to my neck. And it's like you're on fire. Like
uh,
you can't cool it off. You can't, and you put
yeah.
like cold towels around your neck, you name it, just to try and just calm it down. And wow, and it just comes out of nowhere, like no
Yeah.
warning, right? Just
Right.
hits you. And you're like, okay, enough of this. I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
Just can it stop? And then when it stops, I don't know, myself anyway, when it did stop, I was like, wait a minute, I haven't felt that in quite a while.
Yeah.
What's going on? Because you live with it for so long that when it finally stops, you're like, oh wow, no wonder I'm feeling good. I'm feeling normal now because I'm on fire all the time.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
that's pretty much how you have to deal with it. You got to roll with it, right? The world doesn't stop because you're going through menopause.
Yeah, that's for sure, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, do you find stress brings on hot flashes too? Like if you have a moment of stress or you're feeling rushed?
No, no. What usually makes it hit for me is food,
Oh,
like
really?
bad
Oh,
food, because it's almost like my body is trying to tell me, okay, you're doing something really bad here.
yeah.
And so it's a combination of menopause kicking in and then food, and then I just immediately start going through sweats, and
Oh,
it's that does it for me. That's my trigger. Stress, not so much stress. Well, I'm constantly in a state of stress, it seems these days, but the stress is more of a. I just learned to channel that a different way. I guess I is the way I would put it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. For me, it's food. Food is the big
Yeah.
trigger for the hot sweats.
I found my palate changed. Like
Really?
yeah. Like
Oh
things,
wow.
yeah, things that I really loved before, I could care less about now. Like I'm not even interested in having, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, I
Like,
wish that would happen for chocolate for me.
oh man. Well, that's still a craving.
Yeah.
But yeah, just out of the blue, I could not tolerate coffee anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Oh, that
like
would be sad for me.
I thought, oh my God, these withdrawals are not going to be pretty,
No.
but I had
Oh,
green tea. I have green tea, and you know what? I didn't even miss coffee. It was the
wow.
weirdest thing. Yeah, and I don't want any sugar. Yeah, or
See, that's a
salt.
good thing.
Yeah, like it's
I
so
wish.
weird. It's the weirdest thing because you know what? Like
Yeah.
when I was pregnant, all I did was I craved Kentucky Fried Chicken, and salty that
Yeah,
that
yep.
is. And I thought, oh well, that's a ongoing favorite. So me not wanting anything salty was like, what's going on? Like there's something wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's almost a good thing. That's almost your body basically telling you how to handle menopause because
yeah,
that's part of like some of the reading that I have done. They say that, if you can avoid sugar and avoid all the salty and stuff like that, that does help to ease a lot of the symptoms, right?
yeah,
So, yeah, that's probably a good thing. It's probably
yeah,
your own body just trying to tell you, hey, stop
yeah.
that.
Did you have any problems with like aches and pains and different things like that?
Well, um, that's another journey. Like, I had a shoulder replacement two
Oh,
years ago.
oh my.
My right shoulder, I had a full total replacement done,
Oh,
and I'm probably one of the youngest that my surgeon's ever done that for.
yeah.
And it was just arthritis just grew like rampant in that joint, and to the point where 2.5, 3 years ago, well, 3 years ago, there was nothing, like there was no space left in the joint. It was all filled with arthritis. It was just bone on bone. There was nothing.
Yeah.
So I think that is a manifestation of some of the menopause symptoms as well as stress,
Okay.
combined.
Yeah.
But I did get that pain in the thumb joint. Have you
Oh,
seen that?
yeah.
I did get that. And I went to my doctor about it because I thought it was a menopausal symptom. And I went to her and I said, hey, listen, I'm getting this really weird pain. So she immediately tested my hormone levels at that point, and my hormone levels were fine.
Oh,
But yeah, but that joint pain was there. It's
oh,
since gone away, but it was there. It was there for about a year.
oh,
Yeah,
wow. I
yeah.
went through that in my toe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Isn't that
it was
interesting?
weird. I thought, well, I don't drink, so it can't be gout.
No, yeah.
Like it's like, what's going on?
Hmm.
But yeah, and then after a year, it just kind of blew on
Went
by.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah. It.
weirdest thing.
I know. Yeah, yeah. And that's exactly what happens. Like, they say like what I was reading up is that thumb thing is a real trigger or something that
Yeah.
is a symptom. And I went, wow, okay, so I am still going through this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had that too. But yeah, the shoulder was a big one, and I think that was a manifestation of all of it, right?
Yeah.
Just symptomatic and everything else. Because my left shoulder is okay.
Oh,
Like there's
really?
arthritis in there, but nothing like the right shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Do you ever get like vertigo or like a balance thing? I've been watching a lot on TikTok and it's quite interesting, you know,
Yeah,
all the different symptoms. And one
yeah.
was vertigo.
Sometimes I get that. It just depends on if I always chalk it up to, oh, I move too fast or
Yeah.
something like that. But yes, I do get that every now and again, but not regularly. It's just like, every now and again I'll get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. That's a
Yeah.
fun symptom. You
Yeah.
know, for the amount of symptoms that you can experience with menopause, it's like it's amazing to me that doctors haven't done more research on it till now.
Tell me about it. We have to go to TikTok to learn about it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Or YouTube or something, right? You have to do all your research just to figure out what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Did you find like when did you go to the doctor? Did they try to push like estrogen on you?
Mm-mm. No, I have a female doctor,
Yeah.
which is good, but yes, I do know that there are female doctors out there that push estrogen all the time. No, my doctor didn't push anything. She just
Good.
basically said, just, let's just ride it out. And I have a naturopath too
Oh,
because of
great.
Hashimoto's, because I have to have that. And she's asked too, like, how are you doing? Like, should we look at that? And I'm like, nah, I don't want to go down that road just yet. I think I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no hormonal
Oh, good.
supplements of any kind. So, at least
Okay.
not yet, thankfully. That's good.
Yeah. So do you take any supplements like during the day for,
Lots,
oh, do you,
lots.
oh, do you mind
Yes.
sharing some that have helped you?
Well, for most of that is supporting my adrenals and my liver because I have fatty liver.
Okay.
And so I take like a liver supplement. I take six tabs a day with every meal. So
Oh,
two with each meal. I take a digestive enzyme. I take B12,
well,
a
that's a
dissolvable
healthy.
B12. I take with yeah. I take liquid vitamin D, and yeah, that's about it. Which is still a fair amount when you think about it. But yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
the
And then
happy cow.
at nighttime I take magnesium, and then I take Somanol, which is like it's got a bit of melatonin in it and stuff.
Oh,
And I take
great.
Pascanal drops as well, just to help
Oh,
me sleep.
yeah. Did you ever take anything that helped like the hot flashes?
No, no, that I didn't. I tried that. I tried to manage that with diet.
Yeah.
That was, like I said, food was my big triggers with that. So I really, really tried to manage that with diet.
Okay. Oh, right on. Wow.
Yeah.
So, what kind of advice would you give to, like, say, someone that's just on the verge of starting, like, perimenopause?
Just, don't assume that it's anything that you're doing, right?
Yeah,
That like don't take that on as a, oh, this is all, what am I doing wrong, or anything like that, because we do that. We
yeah,
immediately assume that, oh, well, I must be, there's something wrong with me and I got to run to the doctor, or I got to,
yeah.
take a step back. Just take a step back and notice what's happening,
Hmm.
and you know make notes of what's happening. That's a big one. Like, if you
Yeah.
can journal what is happening, then you have more of a record, so that you can kind of, because it ebbs and flows, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
then you can actually keep track of when it's almost like monthly, like there's a cycle of when things hit, right? So if you make a journal of it all, it'll definitely help you get through it, because then you can recognize when a symptom is hitting, go look at your journal and go, oh, okay, it's I'm hitting that cycle right now, so I need to just, give myself some grace here.
That's great advice. I'm always telling my daughter, like, write this down. You know,
Yeah,
what you see me
yeah,
go through, please write it down.
yeah, for sure.
Might help her in the long run down the road. You know,
Yes.
it's
And
important. To read it.
my it's funny because we have to be our own advocates with our doctors,
Oh,
you know. Um, if you're not, you're just gonna go blindly through like a sheep. And I I actually went into the doctor's office with added me to her file because she doesn't know how to advocate for herself yet.
okay.
She's 26,
Yeah.
but she hasn't hit any kind of health issue like I did
Yeah.
early on. Like, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism when I was pregnant with her, but
Okay.
back when I was pregnant with her, they didn't know enough about Hashimoto's.
Oh,
Then 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's.
right.
And so then it's like, okay, well, now that you know it's this, it's like, well, if I'd have known that back then, I could have controlled all of this with diet. I didn't need to get put on Synthroid for the rest of my life, you
Yeah.
know? Like, it's just, they, I find that at least my daughter anyway,
Yeah.
she doesn't know how to stand up for herself
Yeah.
with doctors because she feels they are an authority. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, no, no. They're a person just like you and me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I say the same thing
So
to
you
my
have to,
husband.
Yeah, you have to be your own advocate and you have to stand up for yourself and you have to demand it,
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, when I first went into, I have a female doctor, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, I'll prescribe estrogen." And I'm like, "But well, no, I really don't want to," because
Yeah,
like there's other stories to what that can cause. And so
yes.
I said I prefer supplements, and if it takes longer to make me feel better, that's fine. I mean, that's just where I'm at. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was kind of a challenge. She just was adamant that that's what I needed, and I was not happy with that, but because we should have a choice, you know, of what we are comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with, because I think that's half the battle.
Yeah.
You have to have
Yeah,
a
I find sometimes doctors can be bullies that way,
yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, yeah, I think, well, they're so busy that they want to rush you out, so they don't have the time really to sit there and really talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a business. Still, healthcare is a business.
Yep.
And, you get in, you get out. You can't sit there and really talk about different options. And that's
Yeah.
what is sad.
It
It's
is.
everything's so
It is.
rushed. Everything's so rushed.
Yes,
And,
it
come up with
is.
the quickest, thing to help you, and but that may not be the what you're comfortable with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
It's funny because my journey through this whole autoimmune disease, like because an autoimmune disease has so many different symptoms and each autoimmune disease is different, you have to find the root cause.
yeah,
And doctors, conventional doctors, don't, like you said, have the time
right.
to sit and try to find the root cause with you. You
Yeah.
know, that's where naturopaths are good, but they
Yeah, they're
cost money.
fantastic. Yeah.
And they cost money though, right? But
Yeah. That's sad
if you
though.
want to feel better,
It should be covered under healthcare because
it
again,
should.
you have a right to make a choice for your body, right?
Yes, agreed,
I love
100%.
to advocate for that because it's time, and a lot of alternative remedies too need to start being covered because
Mm-hmm.
we need to make our own choices, you know,
Yes,
what
agreed.
works for us. So, but that can be another topic. That can
Absolutely.
Oh man. So, part of our podcast, as you know, we incorporate gratitude into our day. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to kind of switch over and kind of keep the same theme with menopause. So I want to ask you, what are you grateful for with menopause?
Well, it's taught me, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my body,
Yeah,
period.
yeah,
Right? I mean, I'm so grateful that this body has carried me through 55 years of my life thus far.
yeah,
And it's blessed me with two great kids. It's blessed me with the life I lead.
yeah,
And I'm grateful that menopause has taught me a sense of humor, if
yeah.
anything else.
Isn't that right?
So, yeah. And it's taught me my limitations,
Yeah,
which, so I'm grateful for all of that, right? I'm grateful because I used to be, to my kids, I was 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And boy, I'll tell you, I sure don't feel like that some days now. But, that I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for the whole package. Because if I didn't have my body, I wouldn't have my life, right?
right, exactly. When my feet hit the floor in the morning, it's like, oh, thank goodness I can do this again. Really, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
the body might not feel like doing it, but the mind's coaching it
Yes.
along.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Um, so who has been a source of strength and support for you during menopause?
Oh, golly. I would like to say my mother, but my mother didn't really experience any menopausal symptoms. So which isn't fair. I think it skipped her generation. I don't know how, but although she is experiencing things now, and she's 80,
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like, now you're experiencing some of this, but yeah, I think I really just my close friends, like I have some nurse friends and things like that, and we get a good chuckle and
Yeah.
sharing some of our some of our symptoms and some of the things that we go through in a day or whatever. So I'd say just my friends have been, a big support that way.
Oh, that's good. Um, and I want to ask you, so when it comes to knowledge and information out there on menopause, do you feel hopeful and optimistic that we will be able to receive more info and it'll be more easily spoken about and like in conversation? And do you think that'll come to a time where we can do that, where people can freely
Oh
talk?
yeah. It's even more so now. Like you see Halle Berry giving TED Talks about it,
Right.
for Pete's sake. I mean,
Yeah.
it's becoming more and more to the forefront. I'm just grateful that they're spending more time on women's health, okay?
Yes.
Because we don't have the same kind of support from the medical community that men do,
Yeah.
you know? We just don't. So I'm grateful that they're actually spending more time on women's health and trying to understand it,
Yeah.
you know? Like even that we as women, if we were having a heart attack, our symptoms of a heart attack are completely different from men's, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's encouraging to see that there are a lot of women that are using their voices, and their position to be able to speak about these kinds of things and not be afraid to bring them up, which is
Right.
which is awesome. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Or they shouldn't
So I
feel,
see that changing.
yeah. Yeah, they shouldn't feel embarrassed either. I mean, it's,
Oh gosh, no.
yeah.
Do you remember when they always used to call it, oh, it's the change. She's going through
Yeah.
the change. Change what? What are you talking about? Like, oh my Lord. Change. Okay. Yeah. You mean that menopausal thing. Well, but you know what's really great about menopause? We don't get a period anymore.
Yeah, right.
Woohoo! You
Yeah.
know? That's awesome. But when after I had my hysterectomy, I was like, practically doing cartwheels. But yes, I mean that's one great thing about menopause is that you don't have a period anymore. That's awesome,
Yeah.
you know. But it takes it, if you go through that naturally to that point, that can I know a gal that's had her period when she was 65.
Oh, wow.
So, it's just when your body
Oh,
decides to say, okay, I've had enough of that. Yeah.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Right.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It is horrible.
My
Oh
goodness, I
God,
couldn't
I
wait
don't
to
miss
get
those
rid of.
days.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny because when
When
I'd
I was
ask,
35, when I was 35 and I had a fibroid so bad that I was bleeding out. Like I'd go to the
oh,
grocery store and end up having to put a coat around myself.
yeah,
And um, when I went to the gynecologist, when I got referred, he's like, well, we can do a few things. We could try birth control. We
yeah,
could try an IUD. We could try this. And I looked at him and I said, I've already had my tubes clamped.
yeah,
I don't need this equipment anymore. If it's
yeah,
malfunctioning, take it out.
yeah,
Just take it. I
yeah,
don't need it.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Demanding that, because there was a time not that long before that you would have had to. I actually had a doctor try to, when I had my tubes done, say, does your husband know you're getting this done? Why does my husband need to know I'm having this done?
Yeah,
No, I'm having this done because it's my body and I want to.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to be comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember like back in the day, like my mom would not talk about a period or, anything. It was just that generation just would not speak freely about it.
No,
So when I
exactly.
asked her about when she was going through menopause, she would not talk whatsoever. It was just
Oh.
it was just cheesed right off that she was going through it and just to leave her alone. And I said,
Mm.
well, I'm concerned. I'd like to know what you're feeling. And she goes, then watch the Golden Girls. He says you'll figure it out.
Gosh, funny. That's awesome.
But now when I look at the Golden Girls, I feel like all three of or all of them except for Blanche. But
Oh man, that's awesome. Yep, yeah,
oh,
that's totally it though. Yeah, for sure.
oh yeah. Well, thank you kindly for being on the podcast again, Lori. I really appreciate it. It's
Yeah,
been
absolutely.
lovely. Yeah, I can't wait to have you back and maybe we can talk more about this topic and just kind
Yeah,
of
for sure.
get more deeper into it. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Well, thank you kindly and we'll talk to you again.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us at the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast.